We'll be going over the student loan interest deduction worksheet, which you can find in the instructions for IRS Schedule 1, specifically line 21. Now, before you start completing this worksheet, you should check to make sure that you are eligible to take student loan interest as an above-the-line deduction. So from the form instructions, a couple of criteria. First, you must have paid student loan interest during the course of the year. It could be for yourself, or it could be for a family member such as your spouse or one of your dependent children. You can be any status except for married filing separately. If you're single, you must have AGI of less than $85,000 in the given tax year, and for married couples filing jointly, that income threshold is $175,000. And finally, you cannot be listed as a dependent on anyone's tax return. Now, you can use this worksheet in most cases. However, if you are filing IRS Form 2555 as a foreign tax exclusion, if you're filing IRS Form 4563, or if you're excluding income from Puerto Rico, then you'll need to follow instructions as set forth in IRS Publication 970. I'll put links to articles and videos we've created for any tax forms that are mentioned in this video. So as kind of a top line rule, you can't deduct more than $2,500 in interest that you paid during the course of the year. So in line 1, we put down $2,000. So it even says up front, don't put a number larger than $2,500. In line 2, you're going to enter the line 9 total from your Form 1040 or 1040 SR. This is your total income. So we put down for our hero John Doe and his wife Mary Jane Doe $80,000. That was their total income from the year. In line 3, we're going to enter the amounts from most of Schedule 1, basically lines 11 through 20, 23, and 25. And specifically, those are educator expenses for line 11, business expenses that you would claim on IRS Form 2106 for line 12. Line 13, health savings account deductions. Line 14, moving expenses for military or armed forces service personnel. Line 15, self-employment tax that you, or the deductible portion of the self-employment tax that you can calculate on Schedule SE. Line 16 is the self-employment retirement plans contributions. Line 17 is the self-employed health insurance. Line 18 would be penalties on early withdrawals from savings accounts. Line 19 would be deductible alimony. Line 20 would be IRA deductions. Line 23 would be Archer MSA contributions. And then line 25 contains a long list of other adjustments. So in this circumstance, we calculated that the Does have $25,000 worth of total adjustments. So when we subtract line 3 from line 2, we arrive at $55,000. And now we're going to compare it to this amount right here. So the single, as I mentioned, $70,000. The married filing jointly, $145,000. Now this is the bottom of what's known as a phase out. So the numbers that I represented before, $85,000 and $175,000, those are the top of the phase outs. So between $70,000 and $85,000 for a single head of household or a qualifying surviving spouse, that phase out you would do a calculation as outlined in steps 7 and 8. And we'll get to that in a hypothetical situation in a moment. We would have to calculate the partial deduction that you would take. So in the first case, we put down $145,000, and then we compare that to the amount on line 4, As you can see, the line 4 amount is less than 145, so we did skip line 6 and 7. We put a 0 on line 8, and then basically we're subtracting line 8 from line 1, which essentially means we're dropping down the line 1 number down to line 9. That's the total deduction, and there's no restriction on that. Now, for a second, let's just put a 1 in front of that. Now it's $155,000 of income, which is more than the married filing jointly threshold. So now we would have to do some calculation. First, we're going to enter the difference between those two, which is $10,000. And now we're going to divide that $10,000 by, in this case, $30,000 for our married filing jointly couple, and we'll enter that as a decimal. So in this case, that decimal would be 333, basically infinity, 1/3. So now we multiply that 1/3 by the $2,000, and we're going to arrive at $667. And now we're going to subtract the line 8 number from line 1, and we would end up with a number like 1,333. Now that's the number that we would calculate as our phase out, as our tax deduction after the phase out. So this schedule is pretty straightforward. If you do need to complete that using these instructions, you can find them in the Form 1040 instructions under Schedule 1, line 21. So as I mentioned, we'll put links to all the forms and schedules mentioned in the show notes. If you want to learn more about how all of the different deductions work in Schedule 1, you can check out our article on Schedule 1. Simply go to our website, teachmepersonalfinance.com, type in IRS Schedule 1 in the search bar, and you'll see our article appear. If you like our articles, please subscribe to our newsletter. And if you like our YouTube videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please post them in the show notes. Thank you very much and have a great day.